I think it would be okay, RG, because I think it is very convenient for everyone and there shouldn't be any problem. I think you can go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, then I go on to the next. She has already introduced me. So I'm assistant professor in Viva College. It's a private college in Mumbai. And I'm very much connected to the open educational resources. And we met everybody who are, many of them are resource persons through the same platforms. So I go to the next slide. Okay, let us begin the class. This is our classroom. So imagine we are in the classroom. Few of you can be with me, maybe face to face, and few of you can be in the virtual mode. Whichever mode you like, no problem. There's everything for everybody. Okay, there is one image. Okay, can anybody unmute or post it in the chat that what is this image telling you about? Whatever is convenient to you. Anyone?
The participants can unmute themselves.
Either unmute or
Yes,
post
sir,
it in
they
the
can.
chat.
Yes, RG, they can unmute themselves.
Yeah, they can unmute, right? Okay, fine. Just one of you. If we will not interact, the session will not be interactive. It's like that.
Hello,
yeah,
sir.
there are few messages in the chat. She's looking through the glass and a lady is watching fine. So I got responses in the chat. Never mind.
Yes,
People
sir.
are a little hesitant to unmute. Doesn't matter. So she is peeping out through a glass or a window into this classroom. Now what is happening is we move to the next part. Okay. सो ये एक फर्स्ट क्लासरूम है जहां पे प्रोफेसर एक्स इंस्ट्रक्शनल डिजाइन के बारे में बता रहे हैं. नाउ दिस इज अ आईडी मॉडल. A stands for analysis, D stands for design, D stands for develop, I stands for implement, E stands for evaluate. Now AD model is used by instructional designers and there is a big theory about it, and we will take 1 hour to understand this theory. Okay, so this is happening in the class. How you analyze, how you design, how you develop, how you implement, how you evaluate, we are going to see throughout this session. तो 1 hour में आपको इसके बारे में बताने वाला हूँ. कितने जन हैं जिसको एडी मॉडल नहीं मालूम है? सबको एडी मॉडल मालूम है? Does everybody know the AD model? Yes, you can post it in the chat also. I'm observing the chat as well. Okay, I just got one response which says no. Okay, so in this entire 1 hour, we can discuss AD model. Okay, is that what is analysis? Analysis means you have to understand what are the needs of the participant and plan an instructional design. The design is nothing but you label out your learning objectives. How are you going to execute that? And how are you going to analyze that? Now, third one is the develop. So under develop, you create a prototype, develop your materials. You're going to implement in your training. And lastly, what is the step is evaluate. So you analyze the learner's need, then you design, then you develop, then you implement, and then you evaluate. Did everybody understand? Come on, class. I am teaching you AD model. Did you understand? You have to write yes or you have to write no. If it is yes, okay. Everybody understood. I am teaching very nicely. Okay. Now we go to the next concept. Okay. The next concept is Merrill's principle of instruction. Now there are 5 steps in Merrill's principles of instruction. It is you give a student a task, then the student will be promoted to relate it to the previous knowledge. We will demonstrate, and then there will be an application of this gained knowledge into a new knowledge or a new situation. And then once this is learned, it will be implemented. Okay, everybody understood what is Merrill's principle of instruction, right? Yes or no? You can write no, there is no problem. If you have not understood, you can write no. Okay, everybody is understanding. Yes, fine. That means I'm going very good. Now, this you all must have done in your daily teaching. Okay, Bloom's taxonomy, a very, very important taxonomy. And this Bloom's taxonomy talks about different levels. The lowest is the remember and the highest is the create. So everybody knows Bloom's taxonomy. Perfect. There are few people who are replying in the chat. Yes. So I can see Vijay is replied yes. Fine. Okay, that's very good. Now, that remember that girl who was peeping from the window and she was listening to this class, and you want to see what did she see? Are you excited to see? What did she see? Okay, what she saw is this. Agree? Now, what happens is when there is complete session goes on, with just blah, 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 the students or the audience or the learners, the situation happens like this. So that girl who was peeping from the class and listening to very, very important concepts like Eddy, Merrill, and Bloom's taxonomy saw that majority of the children of the class are feeling sleepy. So if we want to avoid this situation, okay, what we need to do is what we are going to do in my session today, which probably will be now another, I've already 15 minutes past, I've explained this one method which sometimes, maybe, or regularly happens in all of our classrooms when we actually deliver a lot of heavy concept without any interaction. So do you feel that we require interactive interactions for participants to get engaged in the classrooms? How many of you feel that? Just post it in the chat. Fast, fast, fast. Yes, Jasdeep says why. Okay, only Jasdeep feels like that. What about others? Come on, it has to float. Yes, Shilpi says yes. Rupinder says yes. Karam says that. That means many of us feel that we really do need some kind of interaction. So this is what I have been asked by Dr. Pargat to deliver, that how we can make interactive classrooms using open educational resources. Throughout your exposure to this work, FDP, you must have come across different types and how to create open educational resources. But now I'm going to teach you how to integrate or how to embed this particular open educational resources in your day-to-day teaching to make it interactive. And this is my personal experiences, which I am sharing with you. There is a pool of experiences and open educational resources. So some of these experiences I will be sharing in the period of 40 minutes, what I have been allocated by the host. Okay, now moving on to the next slide. To avoid this, what we have to do. So now this is the beginning of my session. I have given you one link, which is a Menti link. Many of you must have been using Mentimeter. So there is a link. I will just activate that link. I will also post it in the chat. Okay, so that you can start using that. And you can so I'll just stop sharing and post the link in the chat of the Mentimeter. Just give me a second. Am I there in the room? Rupinder, madam? Yes, okay. So I'm posting that in the chat. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Is the link visible in the chat?
No,
Yes, sir.
not visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
It is. Just click on that and I will be start getting the responses. Is it clickable? Can you click? I will share it also onto the screen so that you also see what has been asked. So those who are not able to open the link can visualize. So I have asked that this is a learner, which is an active learner, and we are talking about the need of the learner. So before we go to the need, what is your idea about that you wish that your student need to be if you are a perfect teacher? So if you are a perfect teacher, what is the idea, 3 words you can wish about your student if you are a perfect teacher? So you can post it in the Mentimeter, you can post it in the chat as well. It asks for a code. Does it ask for a code, madam? No, I guess it's opening directly. I have to just submit. It's asking for the code. Just once, give me a minute. No, it's not asking for the code because I'm able to get responses. It's not asking for the code because I'm able to get the responses. Are you seeing the word cloud bit built? There are 42 responses. And if you want a code, it's on my screen, 74553186. Those who want a code, it is 74553186. Okay, can you see the word cloud getting built up? So I can see inspirational, interactive, informative, aware, humble, mastery over the subject, cooperative, passionate, disciplined, use of technology. Now this should be about the student when you are as a perfect teacher. An ideal student, I have shown a picture of a student when you are a perfect teacher. So I hope you are giving that responses. Okay, I have got 60 responses, and that tells me that how you are as a class, visualizing something together, that what each one of you is thinking individually. Okay, I'm sharing, stop sharing, and I'm coming back to my presentation. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, it is.
So did you like the first entry point? Now this is going on into a classroom, which was a neighboring classroom. That girl is seeing, that girl is nothing but you, and you are seeing that there is a second classroom, which has started with a discussion where entire classroom, that is called as whole classroom discussion. It is called as whole classroom discussion. The technique which I am giving you is whole classroom discussion, where individuals think together, and a teacher has used one of the ICT tool, Mentimeter, to get responses, and the cloud has been presented in front of everybody, where all the thoughts are kept in front of the entire class. That a perfect teacher, how the teacher wants an ideal student to be. Now we are not going into the ideal student and the perfect teacher, but we have come across first thing that the teacher is welcoming the students with something lighter and asking them what are they feeling. Could be, that could be a question, like I wanted to know what do you feel about your students. So as your facilitator for this session, I carried out this activity. Did you like the activity? Many of you must have used Mentimeter, but you need to connect with the way you would want to connect. Okay, so what do you feel? Let me see in the chat. Okay, somebody with iPhone says yes. So if iPhone has said yes, that means others would have definitely enjoyed it. Okay, Shilpi, yes. Vijay, definitely. Thanks, Vijay, for that. Karam, yes. Great. So we are going great. There's lots coming on in the future. Okay, in this 40 minutes, you're not going to get bored, assured. I assure you that. Now, can you see a picture? Can you see this picture? Can anybody in the chat, the person who's from zoology background or from science background, can put what is this particular picture about? Which animal does it represent? Anybody, fast. We have to be little faster, otherwise I'll be not able to. Yeah, great. Rupinder is answered that question correctly. For those who have not answered it correctly, yes, I am a chameleon. Now, why you must be thinking, why has he brought this chameleon here? So I will tell you, एक हिंदी में कहावत है, गिरगिट की तरह रंग बदलना. Okay, all of you must be aware of this kahavat, right? It's many of the Hindi films also tells about girgit ki tarah rang badalna, that the chameleon is able to change colors as per its environment, right? Everybody there with me? Yes, somebody from the iPhone is saying yes. I'm so happy that the iPhone is, I don't know who is the iPhone, but I'm so happy that the response is so early. Thank you very much. So why did I bring this chameleon here is for the precise reason that we also as teachers have to change color as per the needs of our students. So we do the first principle of ADDIE model. A, analyze your students. So what you need to do is understand your environment, meaning your student, your resources, and your topic. Is the first pointer A clear to everybody? We need to analyze, and then in a good sense, we have to change colors. Here it would be role from teacher. Now we become facilitator. Did you agree? If you agree, write A in the chat. If you disagree, write DA in the chat. Come on. Post it. A or AD, A or AD, A or AD, A or AD. Yeah, great. Thanks, Manika. Thanks, Shilpi. Thanks, Amandeep. Thanks. I'm very happy that somebody with the iPhone is respond. Thanks, Gurmit, Kavita. I'm sorry if I'm taking your first names. I'm very used to speak like that when I give presentations. That makes one-to-one connections rather than those formal this thing. I hope you all don't mind. Okay. Thanks, Manminder, Rupinder. Great. Can I proceed? Now I go to the next slide. Every slide is going to get something for you. Okay. So here we go to the next slide. So now we are entering into the role of a facilitator. Then what comes next is develop. How many of you really enter your classrooms planned? Be honest. We are at a very informal this thing, and I hope nobody is going to know who is the person who is responding. So how many of you go unplanned in the classrooms? I'm very sure nobody will. So if you are agreeing with me that nobody does go unplanned, type A in the chat if you agree with me. Great. Never, rarely. Yeah, there are situations. Great. Now, what I'm going to do is, this is my analysis as a facilitator after studying many models, university model of learning, ADDIE model, Merrill's principle. I came out with something which I generally do because this is experience sharing. I have made a 3-layered lesson planning. So when I plan, when I develop, when I enter the D part of ADDIE model for instruction design, I do a 3-layered lesson planning. Now, what is the 3-layered lesson planning is, the first layer is you welcome your students, considering them as a whole. So what did I do to welcome you? Is I welcomed you by asking a question that you as a perfect teacher, what do you feel your students would be? You can welcome them with any type of a question. Now, this is the lesson planning stage of welcoming. What activities you're going to do, you can write it in your lesson plan. So have a segment for inclusive welcoming. Consider your class as more inclusive. Okay, many of you must be from teacher educator field. I don't have to explain what is the term meaning inclusive. So you inclusively welcome the class. You may have different modes to welcome the class. I remember one of the YouTube video which I was watching, where a Japanese teacher welcomes her class daily by giving, folding their hands and welcoming each student that enter the class. So that's inclusive welcoming. But when you write your lesson plan, how are you going to do it? Daily is what is expected in this segment. Second part of your lesson plan, the second layer, the layer like onions, when you scaffold the layers, the second layer is engaging activities. For that, my mantra is hands-on, minds on. Unless and until you don't give hands-on experiences, people will not be engaged in what you're doing. See, what I'm doing is I'm into a online, though there are 10 to 15 people responding out of 60 people. Now I can see there are 82 people. I am seeing that my chat box is hit continuously, because if the presenter here or a facilitator here puts a question, and if there is a reply, that literally keeps the people engaged. I hope you're getting engaged with what I'm saying. Okay, we have lot many experiences coming up. And lastly, your lesson plan should have an optimistic closure, because that is the beginning of a new lesson plan. So you have either reflections or wrap-ups. Okay, in my watch it is 1:30, so I have half an hour to go, and there are lot many things to do. Okay, are you with me, all of you? Should I proceed? Greetings, questions, stories, experience. Perfect. Somebody with the iPhone, can you just put your name so that it become easy? And please don't call me sir, call me RG, because I'm onto an informal mode, not a sir. Okay, so I'm not teaching anything. Okay, Pargat, is it the same Pargat? My dear friend Pargat is on iPhone, or somebody else? Pargat, are you the Pargat? Yeah, same. Yeah, so that's what I know, that my dear friend Pargat is always there with me. So, okay, we move on to the next slide. Okay, now I'm not going to teach you all the models and the principles that you'll get in the book. What I have done is I have extracted my own elements for making an interactive lesson plan. So first, it starts with for whom and for what are you making that lesson for? For your students, for which topic, and why, and what are you doing? So your first element should be for whom and what are you doing. Second, from the beginning, start interaction. Don't wait till the last minute to question your student. Okay, the lesson is over, did you understand? The student will say yes. Okay, so don't do that. Do it from your heart. Let it reach their heart. Put their hands on and minds on. That means give them experiences where they touch things, where they feel things. All the 6 senses, maximum senses, I would say, involved. For both, plan your lesson for your own self as well as your learners. And we use a aluminium foil for wrapping up things. So I just wanted a 5th F there. So it is a 5F element for an interactive lesson plan is wrap up. Either you review what you've done or you reflect, or some people might call it as recap as well. Okay, now there is a very good activity. We are going to do on a tool which I use, that is Padlet. It doesn't require any login or anything like that. I will share the link. You can just open it, and what you're going to do is, if we have 32, so I'm just stop sharing. What we have planned for this activity is, I will be putting you in the breakup rooms. You join wherever you are manually assigned. Now I'm making the breakout rooms. Okay, and there are, I don't know, Pargat, there are almost 80 people, so I guess I can make 10 breakout rooms, and 8 to 9 participants can join per room, and I've created that, and I've opened all the rooms. We will run this room for 5 minutes. I'm posting the chat into the, I'm posting the link into the Padlet. Okay, so that's the Padlet link.
When are we supposed to be joining the rooms, RG?
Yeah, they can join, madam. They can join.
The participants
sent-
can join.
Yeah, participants can join, and I've also broadcasted the Padlet link into the rooms as well. I'm posting it into the main chat room as well. So I can see people have joined the rooms. I've also broadcasted a message about the link that has also gone into the chat rooms. I've seen it in mine. So what you're supposed to do is, you have to discuss amongst yourself and post it in that Padlet link. So in my room, there is Gagandeep and Karam. Gagandeep and Karam are there in my room. Rajpal is also there. And I've broadcasted a message also. I'm again doing the broadcast. Is the message gone to all rooms?
I think it has gone, but the participants.
So I'm broadcasting it again so that they get, and I'll check whether my Padlet is getting any responses.
मैंने तो वैसे ही आ गया सी कि मैंने तो वो की था.
Pargat, are you in any of the rooms? Did you get the broadcast link of the Padlet?
Yes, sir, I am.
Are you able to click onto the Padlet? There is a plus sign. Okay. All the participants are back to the room.
So you mean to say that we need to come back to our main room?
I've closed the rooms. So you leave the rooms and come back to the main room.
Okay.
Okay. Is everybody back to the room? Are they back to the room? Leave the rooms and you will be back to the main room.
In the main room.
All the
So all
participants,
breakout rooms
please come
anyways
back
will
in the
close
main
into
room.
1 minute. So automatically everybody will be back in the main room. Is everybody back? Somebody just type S because
Almost,
the breakout
yes,
rooms are closed.
Yes, RG, I think almost everybody is there.
Yeah, I have already closed the breakout rooms. Great. Now. Okay. Now what I did was I tried to create a breakout room for you people to participate together and think together and then write onto the Padlet. Now we couldn't complete the Padlet activity. I'm very sure about that because there was no much of time and I have to complete my experiences in 20 minutes, right? So this second experience is what I gave you is how many of you have used Padlet, if I may know?
I have used Padlet.
Okay, you have used. Others can post in the chat if you've used Padlet. Okay, those who have not used, fine. I can show you how does it look onto the Padlet. But here what I wanted to tell you was that in the classroom, you can form groups and you can bring about interaction between the students on a particular topic. So now I am entering into how I am designing the classroom activities. If onto the virtual room, you can use Zoom for breakout rooms, give them a time to think, pair them together in groups, and you have to assign them a particular task. I will just show you how does it look onto the Padlet. Just give me a minute to share. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
So this is the thing, how it will appear onto a Padlet. Can you see how people respond on the Padlet and how things are done? So this is how your Padlet looks. This is also a kind of interaction where you can deposit some kind of a material, lesson plans, and then you can write down your own experiences. Now this activity we did in the last week only, and this is how we wrote the lesson plans, and people can comment onto this. So you can comment also onto your friends this thing. So it is very useful tool, Padlet, which you can use. Regarding this, how to use digital tools, I guess there is one workshop, a session coming on later, or if you would wish some other time, I would it will be lovely that I would be able to do all these things. But currently my topic is how to create interactive experiences. Okay, so did you get how the second part we did, that is after development, how did we design? Okay, so I go back to my presentation. Okay, and I'll just make you aware of this. Is the presentation visible? I guess not.
No, it is not.
Yeah, I didn't share. Sorry, my bad. Okay. Now is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So we are just, can you see that analysis, design, and develop? I will just go from the slideshow so that you can see where we are. So can you see? Create your materials, develop your protocols. We have done with analysis. We have done with design. We have done now with development. Okay. So now I'm going to the next part. Now, what we did was, we did 2 steps for interactive classroom so far. We did a whole class dialogue where you saw that Mentimeter was used for a bubble formation. So you can use certain tools like this to develop an interactive whole class dialogue. Now, many people might ask me a question. We are not on a virtual mode. We are in a face-to-face mode. In face-to-face mode, there will be a problem that some students are very, very shy. They might not be able to answer your question. Suppose if you ask, how are you doing, students, today? There are many people who will not reply, or there might be not much time that individual replies. Okay, so what you can do is a simple thing. Use an ICT tool like a Mentimeter. Put a question, how do you feel today? And your entire class will reply, and there is a cloud formation. So you get a response and your class becomes interactive. It becomes more warming. How many of you agree with me? Just put A in the chat. If you disagree, write DA, 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 DA. Yeah, thanks. I got only one person's response. Shilpi, Karam, yeah, Gurmeet. Great, 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 great. Come on, post it. Very, very fast. Very, very fast. Okay, Vijay, thank you. Manminder, yeah, great. Now we move on to the second step is like once you have set up a whole class dialogue is then you can use these activities like think, pair and share. It's a collaborative tool. Okay, it's one of the collaborative tool on Zoom, on virtual. I showed you how to do it. Okay, you can make breakout rooms if you're using Google Meet. Google Meet also gives a breakout, but with only with those who have institutional IDs. But Zoom is very good for that. Suppose in the classroom you don't have Zoom or Google Meet, things don't stop. Just ask two people to make a group on one bench and ask them to think individually, then pair together and share their ideas. You can ask them one by one. If it's a big classroom, increase the group size. So are you aware of the two steps primarily which should be done in an interactive classroom? Now this we are going into the implementation part of an AD model or interactive model of your instructional design. Clear? Did you understand? Should I proceed? Write P in the chat if you want me to proceed. Yes, thanks Karam. Yes, thanks Shilpi. There are only few people who are continuously. What about others? Please go ahead. iPhone, that is, I guess, Pargat. Okay. Okay, Pargat, I'm going ahead. We are just short of time now and there are a lot many things to do. Never mind, I'll try my level best to do the things. Now, this is just a visual I would be wanting to see how I use technology in the classroom regularly. I use Padlet, I use quizzes, I use Nearpod, I use Mentimeter, I use Insert Learning, and I use Prezi. Okay. Now, what are the pedagogies I adopt? You can club these tools with pedagogies like flipped learning. Okay, show something, come into the class, discuss. I am a trainer for RBPTs, that is research-based pedagogical tools. Science people very much inclined to this, that how research can be used as a pedagogy for learning to take place. Inquiry-based learning, I'm also a trainer for inquiry-based learning, where you can teach students by stepping into an inquiry, and you can use, I generally adopt demonstrations and simulations because I'm a botanist and a biotechnologist. So these are few pedagogies and tools which I use. Now, what happens is there is one very good tool which is Nearpod. I will just show you in a couple of minutes how you can use this Nearpod, just the web page. So I'll just stop sharing this and go to the web page of Nearpod. So just give me a minute. Okay, everybody just see whether you can see my page. Everybody can see that I've opened into a Nearpod. I have all the accounts made onto this. Okay, so I was using this. Everybody is able to see. I did not get the responses. Okay, Priyanka says yes. Okay, visible,
Yes,
fine.
yes.
So
Yes.
what I've done is there is a lesson which I had posted into the library. It's a very beautiful tool. You can explore it more into, and you can type into the search. Now I had put gel electrophoresis, okay, because that was my topic, and I got this particular thing. Now, can you see that this gel electrophoresis, when I'm playing, of course, it requires a very good internet speed. And many of the colleges these days are ICT enabled. So you can use this It's a wonderful tool. Okay, you can share it with different options also. Okay, now I'm not doing all that. I'm just showing you as a demonstration that how you can actually do it. Now there are two options. Either a teacher can play or you can give it to student as self-learning. Just continue. When you will play this video, it may not give you sound or anything right now, but you will see something is happening on the screen. There is a topic introduced. No student has joined because I have not shared the link. You can share the link with the students. And as this video moves ahead, okay, you will see that there is a animation and they will stop at a question which they have to answer, and then it will move ahead. Okay. So you can explore this Nearpod tool. It's a very good tool. Pargat, if you want any other sessions for specifically for this tools, you let me know. I will take a 1 hour session. Everything will not be possible in this. You get reports, you get lesson plans, you get everything on the screen. I generally use Nearpod because I love it. It's very student friendly, very user friendly, and you have lot many options. It's free for certain levels, and then you can go to premium. That is also very reasonable. Of course, these are all US based tools, so they are in dollars. You can get resource experiences also. So if anybody is interested into say how to plan and create a lesson on Nearpod, you can get this. They have certain specific topics also to be done. So this is how you can explore Nearpod. And I go back to the presentation of mine. Okay, so it's a wonderful tool, Nearpod. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah. So this is one of the tool which I used. Now there might be in the class, in the chat, or maybe in your minds that whatever I'm showing is more of ICT. Okay, so I'm giving you one example that every time you don't need ICT to do things. Now what I have done in my classroom. So it is my experience. So this is my activity too. I generally make an activity template. This is a template. It's a template from the internet teacher resources. You can modify, adapt accordingly. What I have done is I have made my template like this. I was teaching a topic in genetics. My topic was for a first year botany, okay, which where the student is botany is one of the subject. Um, the strength of the class is 120. I used a library text, which is open source, open textbook. If you Google library text, you will get all the topics and the textbooks what they have. And what did I do with this 120 students? So that is what evidences I'm going to show you. Okay. So these were the beautiful captures of the exercise what I did. See, these are geotagged. And can you see that everybody is holding a picture of a monster? You can just zoom in your screens and you can see. So what I taught them that if you know the genotype, how you can construct a phenotype. So this was a game-based activity, did not require any ICT. The only thing I did was my podcast. That is, I gave them instructions using a podcast. A day before the activity, student comes with the materials. They have understood the concept. I guide them as a facilitator. Students work in groups. And there is a 5-minute introduction. If you can see the board written with genetics, what exactly they are supposed to do. So always you need not rely on the ICT tools only. You can do something wonders in the class to create interaction with open educational resources like this. So this is an evidence, because I generally always feel seeing is believing. You know, people preach lot many things in the sessions, but what they do at their end. So Paragat wanted me to share my experiences. So this is what I do. Okay, a simple topic where literally I had to teach nothing to the students, just give them a podcast. A small podcast was sent, so that becomes an open educational resource. Students were given some material, uploaded onto the Google Classroom, and they have to come to the class next day and create this activity. What they have to do, I'll tell you in short. They used a coin to toss head or tail. If it is a head, it is a dominant allele. If it is a tail, it is a recessive allele. Now, those who are biologists will understand this very easily. But otherwise, you can develop such kind of, games for student, and they come out with a different level of understanding. Is this clear in the chat, everybody? I did not get any responses. Are you there? Okay, yes. So this is the evidence which I feel I should share, because seeing is believing. Small exercises you can plan. And this is not only to science, you can do with humanities, you can do with education, you can do with subjects like commerce, you can do anywhere. So this is what I teach. This type of pedagogy is called as inquiry-based pedagogy. So I'm a trainer for this also, that how we can inculcate inquiry-based pedagogy. And this is the activity plan segment of that inquiry-based pedagogy, using open educational resources like a podcast or a video to make your classroom of 120, not just looking at you, but actually involving in this. So now my role as a teacher, lecturer has changed to a facilitator. I just move into the class and attended entire group and asked how and what did they feel. This is a product what they've done. Okay, so now I move on to the next slide. There is one or two surprises more for you people. Surprises in the sense what I do. So collaborative activities in class like concept mapping. I love concept mapping and mind mapping. Many of you must be doing what is concept mapping and mind mapping. Okay, they are the beautiful. And you can also cater to individual activities. There's one beautiful tool which I use for individual activities, and I ask the students to do that, is Insert Learning. Okay, Insert Learning is a free open source tool. I don't know, Pargat, if there anybody there to explain the tools, you can invite and they can really, we can use this for interactive learning. And interactive learning is a platter of using different tools. Don't restrict yourself just to one tool. You will be explored to many tools, and I guess Pargat and the entire organizers will take care of this. If they have included in this, it will be beautiful. If some other time they want it, they can invite me. I am very sure to do this. Okay, so these are certain methodologies. Now coming to the last part, that is assessment. Okay, so assessment becomes a very important part, because unless and until you have assessment, you will be not able to know whether your learning outcomes were achieved or not. I taught you the AD model in a different angle. I went to the Bloom's taxonomy in a different angle. Okay, I followed the Merrill's principles in a different angle. So this is also how you can do in a different angle. There is a peer assessment, which I generally enjoy. Students themselves create a learning rubrics, get it verified from me, and they evaluate their friends with positive reinforcement, yet critical analysis. Now, there is a small assignment for you for one more tool, which is a quizzes. If we have time, we'll go with quizzes. If we don't have time, then we will be saying thank you. And I've already posted the questions to the organizers. But same thing, I want you to experience with quizzes. It will take 5 minutes. Pargat, if you allow me to do that.
Yes, sir, you can take.
So I'm on time, and in time, I generally plan my lessons like this.
Sir, you can take another 5
Hope you enjoyed, all of you.
Please go on.
This is a mirror of how to make your sessions very, very interactive. I will stop sharing and I will open the quizzes platform. I'll post it in the chat as well. Just give me a minute to do that. Before that, if you have your mobile phones, I'll just tell you how your students feel. Just a minute. Okay, you must be having your mobile phones, and I'm sharing one screen. This is one beautiful tool which I use to take their, something where they want to use their mobiles. You can scan that code actually and reply, and you will see in the real time. You can scan with your mobile scanner, mobile phone ka scanner. You can scan it. All those who have a mobile phone, you can really scan it and give a reply. Are you able to do that? Because I am able to do that. It says open link, and when the link is opened, it will take you to the. You have to just write your name as username. I generally write RG and I continue, and you will see that how you are feeling. You just tick that, and it will show you a response. So I can present it also in front of you. See, there is one response coming from my side because I was able to scan the code. Okay, you can just go on scanning, and this will. It's a very beautiful app, and it really tells you how you are feeling now. Like I was feeling very happy. I don't know about you all. How did you feel? Okay, it's very difficult to scan ongoing meeting. Okay, somebody on the laptop and has a mobile, you can scan it. Okay, it's just to give you a demo. It's nothing big. So that I can just arrange. In the meantime, I can arrange your quiz. The whole thing is that. So I will. That's the only thing. I can share the link, but I'm just hunting for the quiz which I've made, and that's the last part. Yeah. So I'm just stop sharing that, and I'm sharing quiz. I'm going to start it live, and you'll see the code onto the screen. I'll type it in the chat as well. So there are only 3 questions to the quiz. Okay. So I'm just. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can you see the
Yes, sir.
code there? The code, I'll type it in the chat as well, and I'll type and post the link as well. So the code is 0 2 0230308, and the link is joinmyquiz.com. Joinmyquiz.com. You just type in the browser joinmyquiz.com. If you don't want to go to the browser, I can just give the link. Are you able to join? Just putting the link. Okay, join my quiz.com. Is it clickable? No, it's not. There's a comma. Yeah, Pargat joined. Join my quiz.com. Okay, so I have got one participant to show you the demonstration. Okay, join my. There is a spelling error. Huh? One minute, I'm just typing the. Even Mini has joined. So I'll just start. Others can, Pargat, you can share the. Okay, I can just copy this link and post it in the chat. Give me a minute. Huh? I'm just posting the link also. Yeah, here it is. You can just click that. Maybe you'll be able to join. I'm now giving you a direct link. With this, you can directly join. Just click, it will directly take you to that. There are 8 participants. You just click the link in the chat and it will take you to the, yeah, everybody's joining very fast now. Great. Super. Okay, so there are 10, 11. Should I begin, Pargat? What do you say? Because there is a next session immediately.
Yes, sir, you may.
Yeah, because this will take only 3 minutes. So I'm starting it. Others can visualize it on the screen. So I can see Pargat is topping the charts, followed by Shilpi. Gagan has moved to the second position, followed by Pargat. And ये लाइव गेमिंग चालू है और लर्नर्स जो है वो फटाफट उस पे रिस्पॉन्स दे रहे हैं. Manu has jumped onto position 2. Pargat still leads. Vimal on the third position. Shilpi is moved to second position with Manu and Vimal. Manu goes on to the top position. Pargat rises to 2,400. Vimal is raised to the second position. They have completed. Nini is on the third, followed by Gagan, Shilpi, Jagjit, and Gurpreet. And okay. So now I'll end it. The same quiz I've shared with the organizers. And I will stop sharing. So we have first ranker as Shilpi, second as Vimal, and third as Pargat. Congratulations to the learners. So I have done just 2 minutes extra. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pargat, for this opportunity. And the session is concluded. So I hope you all enjoyed this interactive sessions. And this is how you can plan different experiences for people. And you can literally go into different resources. Let it be offline, let it be online. It is you as a facilitator, how you use your instructional design to develop. So it's up to you. Thank you very much. I hope everybody enjoyed. And Pargat, I made whatever I promised. I hope I have met your expectations. If I would have got a offline session, it would have been more interesting. Or maybe a session of 2 hours, it would have been still more interesting with a lot of options and a lot of pedagogies I could have explored. What I have learned, you can put your, I'll share a link of Padlet with the organizers. You can explore Padlet and I'll be able to know how are your experiences, what is your sharing, what you want to learn new from me, and we can collaborate accordingly. So that's all from my side. I just start the video, Pargat, for 1 minute if you want to take a picture or something like that. Thank you very much. If anybody has any questions, because that is what is interest, at the end it should happen, or has a reflection, you can just post it in the chat for a minute, because that would complete my session altogether. Just a minute. Anybody feels anything or would want to say something or a question, you can just post it in the chat. Thanks, Pargat, and the entire team and the entire organizers for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I hope the purpose of this workshop was served in this session. Thank you. Thanks all.
Please unmute yourself, Babita. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rohan Gavankar. Thank you so much for this interactive and informative session. I must say that the session was really very entertaining, at the same time informative, because the kind of interactive learning strategies that you suggested have been really helpful, and all the teachers will make use of them in their classrooms. And thank you very much. If any of the participants have any queries, you are welcome to ask the. Any participant would like to say something, add on, or ask any questions to Rohan sir? I think the session itself was very informative, self-explanatory, and everyone has understood. Yes. To sum up the lesson that the sir was trying to make everyone comprehend, I would like to say that it was really informative. The kind of principles and models of teaching that sir was talking about, like Addy's model and Merrill's principles of instruction, Bloom's taxonomy, all these instructional methods are all of us to recall and work upon so that our teaching strategies are better and they are more experience learning based, and it can enhance experiential and useful methodology being taken up in the classrooms so that all the students can feel more interested, feel more inclined for learning. He also talked about the qualities of the teachers and how in different steps the teachers can be more welcoming and more versatile in their teaching, and how they can be optimistic. So I think these kinds of attitudes all of us need to develop as teachers. Then he talked about the 5 elements of interactive lesson plans. Of course, the lesson plans are very important. And once the teachers have really made the lesson plans by theoretical as well as online techniques which are available, these can be very helpful for all of us. Then sir also talked about his personal pedagogy and how technology is used in his classrooms. So I think it was really informative, and it was a knowledgeable session in which we also got to know about the new technology, like which is available online, which is Nearpod, which tells us about how students many different aspects of teaching and learning. So I must say that it was very informative and enlightening session, and hoping to organize and hear more of these kinds of sessions would be very beneficial for all of us. Thank you so much, Dr. Rohan, and thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, all the organizers. Can I take an exit, ma'am, with your permission?
Yes, sir. If
Thank you
please,
very
sir.
much. I'll
Thank
share
you
a
so
link
much.
of Padlet and people can respond. So that is a place where we can connect as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rohan. Thank you so much. Dr. Rupinder, Dr. Deepika is already there.
Yes, ma'am.
You may start. Dr. Deepika, you've been made the co-host.
Thank you so much.
Very good afternoon, Dr. Deepika Kohli.
Thank you. Sat Shri Akal ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ.
Good
Good afternoon to all.
Sat Shri Akal, ma'am.
For everyone's information, I would like to read something about Dr. Deepika Kohli. Madam is an assistant professor at Khalsa College of Education, GT Road, Amritsar. She was awarded PhD from Punjab University, Chandigarh. Having teaching and research experience of 15 years in teacher education institution, she is a guidance worker and permanent member of People's Court, Lok Adalat. Another distinguished role she performs is of being the in charge of education in the college, in charge competitive examination center, in charge timetable and discipline committee, and college nodal officer of UGC projects, NCTE, coordinator NAC, AISH. She also served as program in charge of B.Ed Jamia Millia Islamia and DID Ed and Bridge Course NIOS. She is an acclaimed author, researcher, and dissertation supervisor of Directorate Students of French University and Master's students. Her research interests are in the area of educational technology and pedagogical techniques and approaches. She is also a mentor of e-learning internship and SPOC eLIP Puneru Bhaskar Rao and Hemlata Human Development Foundation. She is also single contact person for OERU New Zealand outreach partner. She delivers skill-based sessions and research. She is also of CCGN Chapter India, CTE Punjab and Chandigarh Chapter, IATE. She has launched 4 MOOC on innovative pedagogical strategies for gifted and slow learners under OE4BW UNESCO Chair in the year 2021. The second MOOC, which was launched in May 2022, was Creativity in School Education. Total enrollment across the globe was 1,400. Third MOOC will be launched on May 10, 23 on digital detox under OE4BW UNESCO. She is also co-moderator of various courses on Moodle for teachers. She is also member of editorial board of International Journal Jointer. Also, review of research papers for international conferences and volunteer of CC Global Summit 2021. Madam is also a lesson writer for various state and national organizations. Recently, MGNRCE Government of India has sanctioned Action Research Project of Rs 3 lakhs to improve quality of rural education. She was research associate of major project of UGC in the year 2013 under Epoch Making Social Thinkers of India. She is educational consultant of French University and leading ED education and MEd programs. She is resource person for NCERT and Navodaya Vidyalay and content writer of NIOS and Jagat Guru Nanak Dev University. She has 3 patents to her credit, 1 international and 2 national. She is individual member of OE Global and strong advocate of open education. In the month of September 22, she has been visited University of Nova Scotia, Slovenia, to represent her MOOC course. It was sponsored by University of Nova Scotia. She is volunteer for many NGOs. Under her guidance, 2 students from Hong Kong and Australia got doctorate award. She has more than 20 publications in UGC listed, peer group reviewed, impact factor, UGC Care listed and Scopus WOS journals. We would like to welcome you, ma'am, to this
Thank
session.
you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Babita, ma'am. Thanks
I
a
must
lot.
appreciate you for all the various kinds of tasks you have been involved in and you're still carrying on with, and must congratulate you for that. And we're looking forward to hear your session on open educational resources, opportunities for research. Handing over the platform.
First of all, thank you so much, Babita ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. Pergat, sir. Thanks a lot for giving me an opportunity to discuss with you the very important topic that is open educational resources and its role in research, right? I just want to make sure that everything is okay. There is no technical glitch from my side. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. So, the topic which I am going to discuss today is open educational resources, and I'll be taking up this topic with 2 different dimensions, right? So, till now, you have covered regarding the open educational resources concept, its principle, and various platforms and apps. Today, I'll be, try to correlate or discuss the different platform and how you will be able to use that platform's app and different tools into your research process. So the 2 different dimension I'm going to take up is, first of all, how OER can be a helpful tool, or you can say the open educational resources, a significant role into your research process. Secondly, how you can be a researcher, can do the research on open educational resources, right? So there are 2 different aspects of my presentation. So I hope this will help you to gain some insight into the OER and its relation with our research, because we all are researchers. We are teachers or educator in one way or other. We need to do the research. Just confirm me the PowerPoint presentation is visible to everyone. Anyone can confirm? Is it visible? You can give just thumbs up on the...
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, thank you so much for confirmation. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So this is a table of content because I want to make sure that these topics I'm going to cover, first of all, because open educational resources are open and free resources which are available online. And that also serve as the research material. So whenever you go through the definition of UNESCO, the very important part, that definition is highlighting that OER as research material. It's not only the teaching learning material. Though we are using it as a teaching learning material, most of the teachers, we are using it as a teaching learning process, and we are not utilizing its potential for the research purposes, because it has a lot of potential, because sometimes OER are under CC licenses, which we can freely use it, reuse it. The second, I would like to highlight the role of researcher. Now here, researcher here doesn't only mean those who are doing PhDs, EDDs or MEd. The researcher can be any. You, me, teacher educator, teacher trainees, those who are doing any kind of research. It could be action research, it could be applied research or fundamental researchers. So here I'll be discussing about role of researchers in the OER ecosystem, because in 21st century, you have seen that the OER is like a full-fledged ecosystem, right? And the very important thing is 2 dimensions, which I'm going to use, like discuss using open educational resources for your research purpose, and how you can conduct your researches on OERs, because the OERs are available. There are plethora of information and resources available online. Then there is one declaration in 2012, that the Paris OER declaration. I want to highlight the importance of that declaration. Then very important, I think, the interest of many, the funding opportunities for research on OER. Till now, I think Indian government, they are initiating the process of providing the funding for OER. But yes, if I talk about the international organization, they are already providing the grants to, do your researches on the OER. Then very, very important for being a researcher, what could be the framework to conduct the research on open educational resource? Because just saying that open educational research are the research materials or we can use it for our researches is not enough. We need one framework, and that framework is set up under all the steps which you are taking for researches. So if I talk about open educational research, here resources, I'm going to discuss in detail about the definitions, because from the last few days you are going through that. I just want to highlight that as per the UNESCO, the open educational resources are the learning, teaching, and research material. So my focus is on OER as a research material. So it could be in any format, any medium that reside in the public domain or are under the copyright, that has been released under an open license. So I think you must have heard about CCE, Creative Commons licenses from one or another resource persons. So there are some licenses under which we can, launch our open educational resources, which could be accessible to everyone. And that basically permits no cost access. We can reuse it, we can repurpose it, adapt it. If I talk about educational can be considered as a research material, because your open educational resources, it basically serve as valuable research material. It provides a wide range of benefits and is for researchers. These material include textbook, lecture notes, video, software, and other resources. So I think you must have gone through all the resources like OpenStack, Malrot, the OER Commons. So these all are the platform where you can find the open educational resources of the different experts across the globe. And moreover, OER encompasses the diverse formats. Format here mean it could be in a written text, it could be in a multimedia, podcast, interactive simulation, There are many games also. So like in the previous session, you have gone through the different innovative strategies or apps which you can use for the purpose of your making your teaching learning process more effective. And in most of the cases, all the platform and most of the platforms are under like they are free. So there are some features which are free. You can also utilize those platform into your research work. And this variety allows researchers to choose material that best suit their research objective and preferences. So we can say that OER can serve as the research materials. Moving ahead, the role of researchers in the OER ecosystem. Researcher plays a significant role in the open educational resources. Why? Because if you are a developer, if you are developing OER, then also you need to do some kind of researches. You need to locate the resources. You need to review the literature. So in any case, the researcher is playing a very important role whenever we talk about the OER ecosystem, because it contributes it into its development, its enhancement, and the impact. And let us see the role researcher play in the OER ecosystem. First of all, the researcher can create and develop high quality OERs. Those teachers or experts across the globe, those who are creating and developing the OERs, definitely in one field or the another field, they are researchers, right? So because they are researching, so if you know about the OER, it means you are researching the different the areas, exploring the different areas in the 21st century, which is important for our teaching learning process. So exploring the OER itself is the important task or the first task of the researcher. So creation and development of a high quality OERs. Now here high quality OERs mean it's not just you are just creating the OER, just copy and paste the definition and principle. High quality means you are going through the set standards and the rubrics which are available for assessing the effectiveness of your OERs, right? Its validity, its reliability, its credibility, its practicability. And very important, being a researcher, you can curate and organize existing OER content. Now, I have written one word, preferable. Why? Because international organizations, they are focusing more on using the existing OER rather than developing new OERs, right? So nowadays, they are focusing more on like there are different OERs which are available on the websites. You can use it if it's under CCE licenses. So curate and organizing the existing OER content is also one of the important role a researcher can perform in that ecosystem. Then very, very important, the quality assurance. Now, how we can assure the quality? We can assure the quality by assessing the accuracy, relevance, and pedagogical effectiveness of OER material. Now, I want to highlight one thing, that each and every OER available on the net is not it's not necessarily not that could lack in one or other respects. So being a researcher, your role is first of all to assess the accuracy. Whenever you are referring the OER to your student in the classroom, or if you are using the OER for your research work, it is important to assess the accuracy of that OER. Whether it is accurate, is it relevance, or it has some significance, or the effectiveness. Then very important, the conduct research studies to analyze the impact of OER adoption on teaching and learning. So because OER are available, there are different resources, different universities, those who are dealing with the OERs, those who are working on the OERs. Your role, the researcher role, is to conduct the studies to analyze its impact, whether it has some impact. Because some of the OER, if you go through the OERs that are monotonous in nature or the traditional in nature, that lacks the qualitative aspects of what OER should be. Also, to integrate OER into your research methodologies and contribute to the development of an open research culture. Now, if I say open research culture, many times we lacking in it. We are not very open when we are conducting the researches. we are only restricted to our particular geographical regions because we have some, we can say we have some problems, we have some like irregularities. That's why we are not very open. But when we talk about open educational resources, it's important that we should contribute to the development of an open research culture. Now, very important, how you can contribute to the development of an open research culture by engaging yourself with the OER communities. Now, where are the OER communities? Where you can locate the OER communities? That's on like OER Commons, CCGN chapter, OER for Better World. There are international organizations, those who are working for the propagation or advocation of the OER communities. So engagement with OER communities and interdisciplinary collaboration within the OER ecosystem, that is for the discussion. You can share the insight and collaborate with other contributors. So these are the specific role of researchers in the context of OER ecosystem. Now, I'll be taking up two important dimensions, right? Because you are more interested in the practical aspect of the research part. Now, using open educational resources for research, whenever you are conducting the researches, it could be your PhD research, your master level research, your project level, your international, your classroom level research, you can use the open educational resources for your researches, right? But again, whenever we are using the open educational resources, we need to think over or consider all the points which I have discussed. It should be credible, it should be relevant, it should be like, you can say they're reliable. Then second aspect is research on OER, because OER is so comprehensive and broad area nowadays. That's why the institution need to conduct the FDPs, and the international organizations, they are paying the grants for it, because there is a need to conduct researches on the OER. Now, there is small activity. I think you all must know about the Jamboard, right? This is just for the information, like you just need to share one sentence or one phrase. I'll be sharing the link in the chat box. You just join me on the Jamboard so that we can interact also. You can just click on the link and join me on the Jamboard. I think you are able to click on this. Share a single sentence or phrase that capture your immediate thoughts on how OER and research are connected. You just need to, whenever you think about OERs, like whenever there is something in your mind like OER and research is, oh, it means there is some connection, right? Because research is everywhere. We do conduct researches in a real life also. So just like think over it whenever there is in your mind like OER and research, what one sentence in your mind, what phrase comes into your mind. I think you are able to join me on the Jamboard. So link is open for everyone. You can just click on the link. Yes, somebody has joined. You can also write one single sentence or a phrase or a word. Like what you can also use the sticky notes if you want to use, because I think Jamboard is easy to use. Okay, great learning experience, right? Anybody else? Of course, whenever we are doing research into in OER field, it provides us the great learning experiences. You know why? Because whenever we are going through the OERs of our experts or the existing, educationists, it provides different learning experiences. No doubt, we have some plan in our mind, but whenever we are going through the work of some other expert, our plan can be changed, right? Any other? Cost effective, yes. If the OER is under CC license, then it is really a cost effective. Like you can reuse it, you can redistribute it. You need to take care of the licenses, because everything is not free. Everything is not open. So you must have the knowledge of the different CC licenses before using the open educational resources, because there are some restrictions sometimes. But most of the OERs are considered as open education resources if they are in a CC, under CC licenses. Okay, anybody else? Be fast, very fast, quick, because it's a very simple tool. You can just click through your mobile phones. You don't need laptops also. Anybody else? Okay. So 3 people have joined, but I have got 2 responses. From the last 2 days, I think you have gone through the different platforms. You come to know about the different licenses. You come to know about the different purposes or the, how you can utilize the OER into your classrooms. So you must have the idea of how you can use it. Okay. Anybody else want to share anything? If you can unmute yourself, you can. So it should be a 2-way process. Anybody want to unmute can share something with me so that I can also get to know that you are listening to me. It should be 2-way process, right?
The participants can unmute themselves. We've given them this.
Yes,
you
can unmute because I think the discussions should be there. This is basically the research collaborations. Any participant? Okay, no, that's fine. I'll be moving forward. So I have one more activity. Then
I think.
Okay, I'll be touching.
I would like to say,
Yes.
ma'am, I think it's an ocean
Yes,
of knowledge. Plenty of knowledge is available for us to
exactly.
a lot of idea about our research.
Exactly. So there is lot of work need to be done in this area. So it's just starting, OER, what we are doing nowadays is just the first step. Let's talk about that. Thank you so much, ma'am. Dimension 1, OER uses for conducting research. It's important, like whenever we are saying that OER uses for conducting research, it basically means how you can utilize open educational researches into your research process. Like, so research process here mean it involved the different steps, starting from identifying your problem, your title, your problem statement, up till coming up with your conclusions and recommendations, right? Now you can see that how each and every platform which you have studied in the previous sessions help you a lot in during your research process. So this is what the OER uses for conducting research. And OER uses for conducting research basically expand the traditional research toolkit. So we have one traditional toolkit like just going through the encyclopedia, going through the previous unpublished dissertations or the thesis, some journals, some others like resources, textbook, ebooks. But OER is one of the, like ma'am has said, that it's an ocean of knowledge or information or the text or the material. So it basically expands the traditional research toolkit by incorporating openly licensed. Now, this is very that should be openly licensed, right? Educational material which fostering collaboration and promoting accessibility to the knowledge. So, whenever we are going through the OER resources, you see there are a good collaborations among the people or the expert across the globe to come up with the good OERs, right? So we have some platform which is the, like, it's not the regular organizations like Harappa or Addison's. You have must heard about the courses. They have given some of the courses where the content is, some content is open, but most of the content is restricted in nature. But OER basically mean there is no restriction. Now, this is an infographic for you. Like in the previous session, I think Dr. Rohan has discussed about the concept map and mind mapping. This is one of the example of your mind mapping or the concept mapping. So this is an infographic. OER uses for conducting research. Now, whenever you are using the OER for conducting your researches, how it will be helpful for you? It will provide you with the resource accessibility. Now, how these point will be fit into the different platform, I'll be discussing in the subsequent slides. Accessibility to the resources or the material or the knowledge or the information or the text which are available, right? You can customization and customize your courses, like your resources, and you can also adapt the resources which are already there. It's like developing new OERs or using the existing OERs. That's what customization and adaptation mean. Then very important, global collaboration, right? So we have one platform like CCGN. I'm also the member of that Creative Commons Global Network, where we used to share our OERs with them. The regular information we are sharing, what we are doing under the in the field of OER and the CC Creative Commons licenses. Then also innovative technological and methodology, which Dr. Rohan has already discussed with you. Interdisciplinary research opportunities, it also provide. Then also for your literature reviews, then data collection and analysis, and teaching and learning. So these are areas which I'm going to focus today. Next slides. So let's delve into each point with specific example platforms and websites. So you can note it somewhere, though I will be sharing this PPT with organizers, but because I will be sharing some of the examples with you, that how you can correlate the OERs with your research purposes, right? Also try to come up with some platform and website. And I'm very much sure that you know about the platform and websites that illustrate how researcher can use open educational resources to conduct the research. Now, let's talk about the first point, like access to information or resource accessibility, right? So whenever you are using the open educational resources for your research purpose, it provides the researcher with a free material. So these OER provide you the material, including the textbook. It could be an e-textbook. Most of the cases, these are the e-textbook, articles, and the multimedia content. Now, if I talk about the multimedia content, these are the content like the or the video or the games, simulations, and the many more. Now, for you, this is what OER is providing you as a for a researcher to conduct a research. Now, for you people, you can use OER to access up-to-date information without any financial barrier. Now, why I'm focusing it? You don't need to spend anything on open journals or open educational resources. So it removes the financial barriers, and it often associated with traditional educational resources, right? Now, the example for the one of the most important example is OpenStax. I think you must have gone through OpenStax. If you want, I can share it with you. OpenStax provide openly licensed, peer-reviewed textbook covering a wide range of subjects. Now, how this OpenStax is helpful for you as a researcher, because you can access these textbook for free, obtaining a high quality information without cost barriers. Now, if I click on it, this will I think we are moving to the next, its main page. Is it visible to everyone? You can also, if you are not able to unmute or you don't want to unmute, you can just give me a thumbs up. OpenStax website is visible to everyone or not? Anyone can confirm it? Are you able to see the OpenStax?
नहीं तुसी मेरा पॉजिटिव पॉइंट एक कोई दिख सकता है नॉट ओपनिंग मैम सबसे पुराना बैठ
Okay. Are you able to see the OpenStax?
No, ma'am.
Anyone? Yes. Okay. No? Somebody has written yes. This is OpenStax. This is right. So it's the free and flexible textbook and resources. So nowadays, because if you are new to this area, open educational resources, you must go through the OpenStax. Though those who are experts into the open educational resources, they have different like platform, they can use it. Nowadays, most of the experts
Only
are
PPT
using
is
the
here,
OER
ma'am.
format.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Deepika, the link is not
Okay.
opening.
I'll be sharing my whole screen. Give me 1 second. Because I am sharing the screen PPT only, I am going to share the whole screen. Okay, now is it visible? I hope this should be visible. Can anybody write in the chat box? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the confirmation. So this is what I am saying to you. If you are new to OER, right? If you are just starting or a fresher, you can say, then you must go through the openstacks.org. But if you have already explored these platform, then you can also shift it to OER Commons. We have some other platform, right? So this is just to show you that we have different kind of platform which you can use to access the text material or different kind of resources. Now again, I'll shift to our presentation. Now, I want to highlight the open educational resources created by our Indian government, right? I hope you are able to see it. First is NAPTEL, National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. It is also the initiatives of the Indian government. Sakshat, Consortium of Educational Communication, CEC, where the OERs are available. EPG Pathshala, but before using any kind of resource, check the license, right? Whether it's in a CCG license or not. Eklavya, then we have Virtual Learning Environment, Institute of Lifelong Learning, NOES Open Educational Resources, National Repository of Open Educational Resources, creation of e-content on fermentation technology, NCTE OER portal. So our NCTE, that is the regulatory body, National Council for Teacher Education, they have also uploaded some of the OERs. You must go through those OER. Why? You will come to know about the quality of the OERs. Now, you can also conduct the research on it. The OERs which are available on the Indian, the platforms or in the international, you can compare it. That also is one of the area where you can conduct the research. Moving ahead, the second is literature review. So because whenever you are conducting the researches, you need to go through the review of literature because existing literature plays a significant role in deciding your, hypothesis. It provides you the directions. So for OER can be valuable for literature reviews and allowing researcher to explore and integrate openly licensed content relevant to their research topics and how it is usable for you. Being a researcher, you can use OER repositories to find peer-reviewed articles, textbook, and other resources that contribute to the literature review process. So here is one platform that is OER Commons. You can upload your, OER also easily. It's user friendly. It's very flexible. I want to go back because I missed some of the resources. So we have another resources like Wikibooks, Project Gutenberg, NOVA project. So under NOVA project, you will be getting to know about the different assignments. So I have downloaded some of the assignment related to problem solving, like experiential learning and problem solving. You should access the NOVA projects, LibreText, Hathithos, and Digital Library. These are some of the resources which you can explore to assess more information. Now, for literature review, you can go through the OER Commons. Now, why OER Commons? Because OER Commons are very, very, user friendly. It's very simple to use and access. Now, what you can do under it, you just prepare or develop your OER. You can develop your OER, like you can develop a video through YouTube. You can submit the link to the OER Common team. They will review it and they will get back to you after a few days and they will ask you that your OER is accepted. Then what will happen? Your OER will be visible to all over world, right? So it is like a digital library where researcher can find a variety of OER, including textbook, articles, and multimedia resources. And also should be cross-discipline. Now I'm going to show you the OER Commons main interface. It will take a little time because whenever we are going to open some new site, it takes little time. So I have already submitted some of my work on OER Commons in the form of so because I have a lot to share with you, so I'm not going to go into details because some expert have already covered that point. You can add OER by clicking on the add OER, right? So this is add OER. You can add it, you can research on it, you can download it, you can use it for your research purposes. Moving ahead for data collection and analysis. Can anybody confirm that OER common was visible? Sometime my internet connection is disturbing in between. Is there any technical glitch or everything is fine? Babita man, can you please confirm me? Anybody can confirm me? Is everything is okay?
Yes, ma'am, it's okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much. I need confirmation because sometimes it's online. Okay, for data collection. So your OER may include data sets, simulations, and other resources suitable for research in various fields. Now, being a researcher, you can use OER material for data collection, your analysis and experimentations, right? Contributing to the empirical aspect of their research. So whenever you need to mention some of the data into your research, you can use the open educational resources data sets. Here we have MIT MIT Open Courseware, which you can explore it. It offers freely accessible course material, including the lecture note and some of the data sets. And researcher can use these resources for data collection, analysis, and gaining insight in various subjects. Sometimes their tools are available, but again, for tools and techniques or some tests, you need to check whether it's a culture fair, whether it's there should not be any restriction related to particular culture, because there are some tools, there are some tests which are basically restricted to a particular culture or a region or a geographical area. So though it is open, but again you need to check it's like the suitability for your research purpose. I again want to go back. For literature review, you have some others like Test Your, Open Content, Scholar is using nowadays. Even the students are using the Google Scholars. Now for data collection, you also have Kaggle, Google Research, World Bank data. We are using it for our researchers, and our World in Data. These are some of the data sources. Now for customization, so if you want to do the research in the field of like OER development, or you want to validate your OER, you want to check the accuracy or the quality of OER, you want to develop the OER, or you want to adapt the existing OER, OER material, because these are openly licensed, it allows researchers to customize and adapt content to fit their specific research needs. For researcher, you can modify OER content to create tailored educational material or research tools. So there are some tools which you can adopt it, adapt it, change it into your cultural context. So if it's under OER, then you can use it. For that, we have like connectionals, we have OpenStax, CNX, Sailor Academy, Hippocamp. These are some of the platforms which we can use. And Connection is an open source platform that allows users to create, share, and modify educational content. This is very important, where you can create, you can share, and you can modify. And one thing must be in your mind whenever you are into the OER development or in this field in open education, make sure to release or launch your OERs under the open license, right? Then it's only usable for the other stakeholders. Then if for teaching and learning resources, there are OERs which include some of the lecture materials which you can use, like researcher can integrate OER into educational settings. So if there are some mind maps or concept maps which are available already under OER, then you can integrate into your research studies, you can integrate into your teaching learning processes. For example, if you want to do the research on the concept map or the mind mapping, you don't need to prepare your own mind map. But you should prepare, because your chapter or your unit like requirement is different. But if you see that there are already OER available, mind maps are available under some licenses, free licenses, then you can use it. You can integrate into your researches, right? It will save your time. It's cost effective. It will also enhance the credibility of your researches. So we have Merlot. So we have MIT Open Courseware Canvas Commons. We can use it, and TED. So Merlot, which is called as Multimedia Educational Resource for Learning and Online Teaching, it is basically a repository of OER, which include the simulation and multimedia resources. So you can integrate these material into your research work. Now, interdisciplinary research opportunities, you can explore the material from different fields. You can fostering cross-disciplinary. If we go through the national policy, that also talk about the interdisciplinary approaches. So it's better to conduct your researches like the interdisciplinary, like you taken into consideration the interdisciplinary approach. So OER repository cover a wide range of discipline. It's not like the material is only related to education. It's biology, it's mathematics, commerce. It's a huge repository. So OER by discipline at OER Commons you can find out. So it's provide a section dedicated to interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary resources. So if you would get a time, you can go through the OER Common, and there is one section, interdisciplinary section. Go through it. You can use the resources and integrate into your research purposes. Very, very important, global collaboration and open licensing. So you can engage with the global OER community. Like I have already mentioned that I am also the member of GoGN network as well as CCGN network. These all are the networking which are open for everyone, right? But only you need for CCGN is the vouching. Somebody is able to vouch you. Like it's like the reference. They can refer you. Like for CCGN, you need some reference like vouching. For GoGN network, you just need to qualify their some criteria, like you have done with your PhDs or you have enrolled to PhD. So it's a wonderful platform. GoGN network is a wonderful, because they are organizing the international conferences every year, and it's free of cost. So Wikiversity we have, it's a Wikimedia Foundation project that enable collaborative learning and research. If I could find the time, I'll show you the GoGN network also. I think I should show it to you because it's important. Okay. Okay, I'll take it afterward because we have other things to discuss. Now, innovative methodologies and technologies, which Dr. Rohan has already covered. There are many different, innovative platforms which are available as technology, which you can integrate into your researches. Now, you don't need to develop each and everything. You can use which is already available. That is the adaptation and the customization, right? So Coursera is there. You can use it while not entirely open, but Coursera offer courses with free access to educational material. You can explore and adapt innovative technologies and methodologies which showcased in these courses, right? Now, that is all about dimension 1. Now, very important, I think, which you are more interested is to dimension 2, that is research on OER. Till now, we have covered that how you can integrate OER into your research work, right? Now, how you can conduct researches on OER, because there are plenty of resources which are available on the internet. That is researches on OER. It involves a systematic investigation and analysis of various aspects which is related to the creation, use, impact and effectiveness of open educational materials. Basically, it will cover 2 major areas. First of all, I'll be showing you some of the notable work which has already been done on OERs till now. Then few research area, I'll be mentioning some of the few research area which will help you to know about what are the prospective areas where you can conduct your researches, right? Now, 2 things are important. Some significant studies and trends up until the point of few notable research studies. Research on OER, which covers a variety of topics, including the impact on education, effectiveness, accessibility, and challenges. Let's delve into the significant studies and trends up till now. You can just have a look over it. There was one study 2016. So we can say that OER not a very new area. Just it's the area where we can do more exploration, right? So there was one study in Hilton, was done by Hilton, the impact of open educational resources on various student success matrices. So this study was analyzed the impact of OER adoption. So you can also conduct the researches like this, right, on including course grade, year enrollment, and completion rates. This is just an example for you to just have an idea of what type of researches we can do on the OERs. Then there was another study in 2019, a review of the effectiveness and perception of open educational resources as compared to textbook. That was basically a meta-analysis. You can also do a very good study and you can send it to some journals also. That is a systematic review. Meta-analysis or a systematic review, that could be a very good study on the open educational resources in a particular area. Then 2013, the adoption of open educational resources by one community college MAT department. So we can also conduct into we can use OER into our college, then conduct a case study on it, right? Then open educational resources and college textbook choices. It in the year 2015. Then in 2017, there was an OER adoption impact in the global south. Then in 2018, there was an opening the textbook. Nowadays, many organizations, they are preferring the open textbook, right? If you are working on a textbook, you can able to open, write an open textbook. It would be a good research study. You can also evaluate the effectiveness of existing OER textbook, right? Then there is a multi-institutional study of the impact of open textbook adoption on the learning outcomes of post-secondary students. Then incentive and barriers to OER adoption, a qualitative analysis of faculty perceptions, OER use in the age of coronavirus, a survey of instructors. So this was the latest study in the 2020, because I think during the coronavirus, we are the people who were exploring the content. Like we want to share the PDFs with our student, we want to share the content with our student, and we try to explore the open educational resources. So these study provide a snapshot. It is just a snapshot of the diverse research landscape around OER. I have chosen those studies which I think that it's important, or we can conduct a study in the Indian context as well as in the institutional context. And it basically the covered area like efficacy, faculty and student perception, and the impact of cultural and contextual factors. So keeping in mind that ongoing research continually adds to our understanding of OER and its role in education. Now, research on OER covers a variety of topics. Now, I'll be giving some of the topics, highlighting the topics where you can conduct research, including their impact on your education, effectiveness, accessibility, and challenges. Before moving ahead, I want to know about that. I think you are well equipped with the knowledge of qualitative, quantitative, and mixed researches. Because we have three basic approaches of researches: qualitative, quantitative, and mixed researches, right? So I'll be taking up into consideration of all these approaches. So if I talk about the quality and effectiveness, right, of OERs, if you want to judge the qualities of the OER, because we are doing the research on the OERs, you are a researcher, you want to do the research on the quality of OERs which are already available. Here the focus area would be research which assess the quality and effectiveness of the OER material. In this case, your objective would be to evaluate the impact of OER on learning outcomes, student engagement, and educational effectiveness. And this can include the comparative studies with traditional resources, right? So what you can do the comparative analysis. Pedagogical approaches with OER. So here your focus area would be like research, which is investigating the pedagogical strategies using OER. Here your objective would be explore innovative teaching methods, instructional designs, principles, and learning strategies that leverage OER. So in this, research can contribute to the development of effective educational practices. Because whenever you are doing the researches on the OER, the most challenging task is to identify the focus area. So here I'm giving you some of the areas. Accessibility and inclusivity. So you can research on examining the accessibility and inclusivity of OER. Here your objective would be investigating how OER can address educational inequalities, right? And support diverse learning styles and improve access to open or marginalized populations. Then the next is long-term sustainability. If you want to do research on the OERs, you can take up. If you want to have a longitudinal studies, research on the long-term impact and sustainability of OER initiative. The objective could be assess the scalability and longevity and institutional impact of OER adoption. And it explored the factor which influencing the sustainability of OER programs. The next area is economic and social implication. I know these are the diverse area, but I want to cover it because this will give you an idea that how to conduct a research on OERs. You can also research on the economic and social implication of OER adoption. Now let us delve into open educational resources after examining pertinent research study, while also considering the notable platforms. Now, the first area I talked about, like if you want to study on the quality and effectiveness, then you can use the OER Research Hub. It is the research hub which conduct research on the impact of OER on teaching and learning. I want to show it. This is one of the most, important in the field of research in OERs. It's a OER education hub. So if you are interested to conduct a research on the effectiveness, you can just download it, the content, just check the courses which are available. So this is basically a research hub. So you can explore it more. Open Education Hub. I have explored it earlier. I'll go to the home. So it's taking little time. So technology, schools reach us. You can connect with them. If you want to do the collaborative work, you can reach to them. You can send a query. So it is a open education hub. Right? So you can use it for your research purposes because it provides you the insight into the quality and effectiveness of the OERs. Moving ahead, if you are interested in pedagogical approaches, you can use the wallet and pedagogy portal. And it's basically offer resources and research on effective pedagogical approaches using OER. And it provides a platform for educators and researchers to innovative teaching methods. If you are interested in accessibility and inclusivity, so what I did in this presentation is I try to cover almost all the areas for research. I don't want to leave any area. So if you are interested in accessibility and inclusivity, you can go to Global OER Graduate Go GN Network. You can just serve it, Go GN Network. Get you across the world and connect with them. You can discuss with them the potentialities. Also, you can discuss the research funding potentialities through this GoGN Global Network. So every year they are conducting the researches also. So I can only be able to share some of the examples because I need to cover the research aspect more rather than these platforms. So it's taking time. Okay, so this is you can see equity, diversity, and inclusion. You just go through it. GoGN member research special. So fortunately, I'm also a member of GoGN. You can also work on OER and you can collaborate with them. You can find experts from GoGN also. You can join it. Here the join is there. You can locate the resources. You can take part in the webinars. You can also provide your services as the volunteer. Long-term impact and sustainability, then you can use the sustainability of OER initiative research studies. For economic and social implication, if you are interested to know about the economic and social implication of OER, you can use OECD report on OERs. So there are, this is the Paris OER Declaration 2012. There was World OER Congress, which was held at UNESCO Paris 2022. In 2012, there was some of the recommendations. Why I am highlighting this recommendation? Because after this recommendation, the OER was came into, in the place. It basically was the foster awareness and use of OERs, facilitating enable environment for use of ICTs, reinforce the development of strategies and policies on OER, promote the understanding and use of open licensing, support the capacity building for sustainable development of quality learning, foster strategic alliances for OERs, encourage research on OER, encourage the development and adaptation of OER in a variety of languages, facilitate finding, retrieving, and sharing of OERs, then open licensing. So here we are putting more focus on research on OER because this is one of the most unexplored area, right? So platform we have explored, but we have not explored the research in OER. Now, if I talk about the funding for research on OER, we have two basic like areas like India or international, but India I am not sure because you just need to check it for Department of Science and Technology, DST, University Grant Commission, National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. These are just the granting agency, but just I want to highlight, just check their notification. Someday or another they may ask for work on OERs. Now, these are some of the international organizations which are providing the grants and open the collaborations for other members like Open Society Foundations, Havlet Foundation, International Development Research Center, Canada, European Commissions, Commonwealth of Learning. So I think Commonwealth of Learning, I think everybody must know about it. UNESCO. And these are some of the direct web links for these organizations you will go to afterward. Now, some suggestive titles for teachers and educators for researcher on OER. We have three major researches: quantitative, qualitative, and mixed researches, right? So I know we have a shortage of time, but I want to stick to my, presentation. Just for your participation and for my motivation, just click on the small quiz. It's a very small poll. If you are able to click on it, I hope you are able to click on it's in your research endeavor, which approach you are interested in. So because I have covered 3 approaches, but I want to know the maximum people, their interest in the method of research. So I think this activity is visible to everyone. Are you able to click on the link? Everyone? Anybody can confirm? Are you able to click on the link? Take the quiz. Okay, this was your research endeavor, which approach you are most interested in. I just want to know that which approach you find more, interested for you. 5 votes in one day. No, it was, yes. Okay. Okay, 40% qualitative research and 60% of you have mixed research. Anybody else? Are you able to do the voting? Okay, yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Vijay. Okay. So I expected more answers. So now you can see the changes because most of the cases, either we are conducted the qualitative researches, quantitative researches, mixed researches, or some experimental researches. Somehow we covered into the quantitative researches. and if we are undecided or unsure. Okay, so most of you are interested in the mixed researches. That is one of the challenging research, because whenever we are talking about the mixed research, it involves a different, like, okay, moving ahead. So these are some of the titles I'm providing you. If you are interested, like 47% of you are interested in quantitative research researches. So these are some of the titles, like you can analyze the impact of OER adoption on student academic performance, comparative cost benefit analysis, you can quantify the accessibility and affordability of OER, you can conduct a cross-sectional institutional studies, then statistical analysis of OER adoption pattern in schools. You can explore correlation utilization satisfaction. So these are some of the tentative topics you can go through afterward. If you are interested in, like 53% are interested in qualitative researches, these are some of the example, like Voices of Educator, a qualitative expression of OER implementation challenges and opportunities. That could be a very good study. Qualitative case study on OER impact, stories, inclusive education with OER. This could be a good study. OER student empowerment. That could be a very good study. OER and student engagement and empowerment. If you are interested in mixed study, like 53%, I think they mentioned the mixed studies, understanding the complex landscape. You can compare the OERs of a country, one country to another country, their platform, their usability, their retention. These are some topics. Last but not least, I want to discuss the framework. Because you all are well equipped or know about the research process. So this framework I try to fit into that research process steps, like framework to conduct research on OERs. First of all, developing a framework involves establishing the theoretical foundation. You need to conceptualize your variables and outlining the methodology. For this, first of all, you need to set up your introduction like background. You need to provide the current state of OER adoption, highlight the significance of OER, then you need to mention the rationale of your study, emphasizing the gap in your study research, clearly state the research problem, statement, and relevance. Then you need to come up with your aims and objective, clearly articulate the research aim and objective, goals and outcome expected from the. Then also, which we usually ignore, that threat framework. Open educational theories. So whenever you are dealing with the open educational researches, always mention open educational research. So whenever I am discussing the research with some of the international students, they are very much concerned with the ethical framework of their work, right? Though we have introduction, but we should have a separate heading for our research, like theoretical framework, which we can cover the open educational theories and adoption theories. Then literature review, where we can mention the OER adoption and educational outcomes related to your study. Then again, after theoretical framework, conceptual framework is also important, because it covers your variables, your design, and your techniques. So here you can identify the key variables. First of all, whenever you are going to conduct a study on the OER, come up with some variable like OER, student engagement, teacher attitude, impact study, relationship study, correlational study, whatever you want to do. So you need to identify the variables, key OER adoption educational outcomes, define those variables. Then you need to mention the relationship between the variables. Then, of course, hypotheses and objectives and research questions. So research design, you need to mention the research approach, whether it's quantitative, qualitative, or mixed approach, data collection, sampling, your target population, your sample size, data collection methods, then data analysis. It's same as of some other researchers. But here your focus is only on OERs. Then very important ethical consideration. If you want to do a study on the OER of some international organization, if you want to see the effectiveness of, then I think ethical consideration must kept in mind. You need to take the informed consent from them. It's not like you are just scrolling the Merlot and just taking their content and give your feedback. It's good. Like if you are a good researcher, you should take the prior permission. So detail the procedure for obtaining informed consent.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yes.
We would request you to please do a little hurry regarding
Yes,
covering
it's
up
concluding.
and winding up the session.
I am concluding the session. This is the last slide.
Okay.
Yes, yes. This is the last slide because it's a research. No, research itself is a comprehensive. You can well imagine. So it's a timeline. You must take into consideration your detailed timeline. You can use the Gantt chart. So we have GANTT chart. You can use that. Then your results and conclusions, right? So enjoy some of the platform. This is just the screenshot. So with this, I'm concluding my session. I know this is full of information because I want to provide the information because this is one of the most unexplored area. These are repositories, these are some open education consortium. So you need to acknowledge the work of OER creators. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry to take your 15 minutes more, but I think it started at 5.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you
Deepika
so
Kohli.
much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this
Thank you so much, ma'am.
very informative, though elaborative, but no hassles. I think everybody has taken a lot of interest and lot of knowledge from your session, ma'am. Thank you so very much.
Thank
To
you,
sum it
ma'am.
up,
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
To sum it up, just I would like to recall the main points that you discussed today about the open education resources and its different platforms and tools available, and how it can be very helpful in our research areas. And I must say that you covered it very clearly under 6 points, as in OER as research material and the role of research and the various dimensions which are used underneath. Then the Paris OER Declaration 2012, which is there to enhance the awareness among all the researchers. Then the funding, which our national and international platforms provide us, and also the framework to conduct the researches. And it is very enlightening to know that it can be customized and we all can create it. And it is a vice versa process. We can, we can take a help from OER and at the same time give back to its platform. So all in all, I must say it was very informative, ma'am, insightful also. And we are looking forward to hear more from you in coming future. And thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the wonderful session. We're highly obliged, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, team. Fargus sir, thank you so much. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I think we can end the session here. Thank you, Rupendra ma'am. Thank you so much for coordinating. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.